Before you begin the experiment, what I would strongly recommend is that you do testing in order to determine how to fill the system with water. And more importantly, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to purge the air that will be in the system when you fill it. So here we have the system before us where we have the riser on the left and with the funnel, and then on the right we have just the straight riser. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a container of water and we're going to pour it into the funnel, and we will do that until the water level comes up probably about ½ an inch on the right hand riser. So here we're pouring the water in. Okay, so there the water has gone up in the riser. Oh, it's probably about an inch high on the right hand side. Now you might think that this looks fine. However, the problem with this is that we have air entrained within the system, and the way to purge the air is to gently lift the side with the funnel, and there goes one bubble. And it's okay if you overflow on the other side because we have the bowl underneath. And there, I think that is probably all of the air has come out of the system. I now gently let it back down. And then what I'm going to do again, I'm going to again increase the angle, and I will add more water into our funnel, and I'll do it until the water level goes up close to the top on the other side. And then we set it down. And so at this point, now assuming that you're using the hot water, you would have filled it with the hot water, but we're practicing now with cold water. But at this point, when you perform the experiment, then you'll want to take your grippy strip and hold the elbow while you're doing this to make sure that the pipe doesn't rotate. So you pull out the one side, and then you go to the side with the riser and you do the exact same thing. Take the grippy strip, remove the pipe. Okay, so at that state, the experiment would then begin in terms of doing the time lapse. So I recommend that what you do, you practice that procedure a few times, because you don't really want to do it with the hot water. It's a lot easier to do with the cold water. But the main thing is to come up with the procedure for removing the air bubbles from the system, and then become comfortable with removing the risers from both sides. Another thing that you'll notice with your system as soon as you fill it is you're probably going to have drips. And I mean, the reason why we have the bowls on either side is in order to mitigate those drips. But the drips themselves are going to be causing problems with our experiment, because our experiment assumes that the mass of water in the system is a constant. And if we have leakage, like we can see here, we won't have a constant mass. And about 10 of those little droplets represents about 0.9 to 1 grams of water. And so over the course of an hour, hour and a half experiment, you could have a scenario where you lose 50% or more of your water. And consequently, we need to find a way to be able to address that. So what I would recommend is that you drain the water out of your system, you remove the 4-inch pipes from either side and dry them, and then I'll show you how to add Scotch tape, where we're going to take clear, transparent Scotch tape, and we're going to essentially put 2 full loops around the pipe, and then we'll put it back into the socket, and that will be the mechanism by which we can stop that drip. So here we have our pipe, the 4-inch pipe. It is out of the system. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take paper towel, and I'm going to dry both the inside and the outside. The inside's not as critical, but I just want to make sure that no droplets come out as we're adding the Scotch tape. So there, it's pretty dry I'll dry the other side. Be careful while you're doing this. You don't want to really twist this a lot because the sensor's still in it. I guess I could have taken the sensor out. Let me do that. That'll make this a little simpler. Okay, so there we have our pipe. Now all you need to do, the diameter, the outer diameter of the PVC pipe is, I measured it was 21.3 millimeters, so you take pi times d. It works out to be, I think it was about 67 millimeters, or about 2.6 inches in order to cover the entire perimeter. So what you want to do is you want to pull enough Scotch tape, and this is the clear transparent tape. This seems to work the best because it's it is kind of a nice flexible tape. And so all you need to do is just carefully apply it on the end of your pipe. And you want to have it on the, not the tapered part, but on the part of the pipe that isn't tapered. I'm going a little bit onto the taper there, so I'll just try to straighten it out a little. And you just wrap it around. And what this will do, it'll increase the diameter ever so slightly. And by increasing the diameter, what we'll do, we'll mitigate the leak. So there, you see I have a little bit where I didn't fully cover it. So I'll take another piece of Scotch tape. That's kind of a longer one. And we'll repeat that procedure. So there we go, we're putting it around. And after you're done your experiment, I would like you to remove this tape. Don't leave it on because that will then be a bit of a mess for people who use the kit again in the next year. And you'll have a little bit of an overlap where one part of the tape goes over the part that was there before. And you have to be careful when you push it into your socket and rotate. You don't want to rotate it in the direction where the tape starts to peel off. You actually want to go in the direction where the tape does not start to unravel or peel off. And so for this particular one, we would then stick it into the pipe, and you want to push it in all the way and have it seated, and then rotate it to the point where the hole for your sensor is at the top. And so there we've been able to insert it in. So you want to do that for both sides. And that should, by putting 2 loops of tape on it, it should reduce any of the drips that we're seeing. You might have small drips coming from where the sensor was, but the drip rate there is going to be really, really low. And remember, I said it was like, what was it, 0.9 grams per 10 drips. So that would be like 0.09 grams per drip. And if you have one of those per minute or 2 minutes, it's a very, very slow loss rate. So anyways, that's the way that we will ensure the leak. So what I'll do the other side, and then we'll test it to make sure that this is not leaking. Okay, so we've applied the Scotch tape, 2 loops to either side of our 4-inch pipe that is holding the sensor. So now we can do a fill test again and keep our fingers crossed that we don't have a leak. So what we'll do, we'll go through the fill procedure. Water level went up in the riser on the other side. That's a little bit crooked. Let me rotate it. There, it's upright. Okay, so now with that, what we want to do the gentle lift. And there, we got a little air bubble stuck by our sensor, which is common. You sometimes get that. I will add more water and bring the riser on the other side close to the top. And if you do get an air bubble stuck by your sensor, sometimes you can dislodge it by tapping. This one seems to be quite content sitting there. I almost got that time. I'll try tapping it one more time. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. It just went back into the pipe. I'll try overflowing the other side. Okay, now we have air. What I'll do is I will add more water. Okay, I think the air bubble is gone. All right, so in terms of our leak test result, let's give it a little bit of time. I can remove the risers now because that's part of our procedure for getting ready to do the experiment. So remember, you grab the elbow and then you slowly rotate with your grippy strip on the riser pipe. Some water is going to come out when you do that. And I'll go to the other side where we did the fill. Now, you may have a little bit of imbalance between the left and the right, and what that could be due to is the fact that the holes drilled in the small plastic box might not be perfect in terms of being at the exact same height. And here I can see the water level on this side is just a little bit higher than the water level on the other side. But what we now want to watch for, and I'll just clean up the bottom of the elbows because we had a little bit of spillage when we took off the risers. But the main thing to look for, we're inspecting for leaks or drips. What you don't want to see is water dripping out of the connector. And the place where it will most likely drip is, the elbow is pretty good, but it's when it goes into the threaded coupling. That's where I found there have been a lot of drips. Now you might have a little tiny bit, we can see there's a droplet developing near the sensor there. So you have a little bit of a drip there, but that's going to be a very, very slow loss rate. And consequently, it should not affect our experiment too much. And so in the experiment, we're essentially doing MC delta T, looking at the specific heat of the water and the change in temperature with time. And you're assuming the mass is constant. And if you're losing fluid, then that causes problems for the experiment. And that's why you want to make sure that you fix those drips. I can see there's a little tiny one here on this side. So that's not great that we have it, but it was a small drip over a fairly long period of time. So you can see that the Scotch tape is not perfect, but it's a lot better than if you don't use it. And again, when you're done the experiment, make sure to remove the Scotch tape. If you have Windex, you might want to remove any of the sticky residue that remains on the end of the pipe before you return the kits. So anyways, I think we're now set and ready to go and perform the experiment now that we've removed all of the leaks and we've figured out the way to be able to fill the system without bubbles. Okay, so we now have our system ready and prepped for the experiment itself. And in the foreground I have my time-lapse camera, and so it's already recording. The other thing, make sure your DS1s are set to out. You want those both to be on out, not in. And then make sure that the HTC2, the temperature sensor, is in the front, because that's how we're going to measure the room temperature when we're doing our natural convection calculations. So there we have it. I have the riser on the left and on the right. The one on the left has the fill funnel. And so I boiled the water, and what I did is I added a little bit of cold water. Remember, I think our sensor shut down over 70 degrees C, so you don't want it too hot, but I'm now going to pour the water in. And given we have the bowls there, it's okay if I have a little bit of leakage as I'm doing this. So we practiced this procedure from before, from when we were doing the fill with the cold water. There we have water now coming up on the other side, so that's good. Now remember, we want to get rid of the air bubbles, so in order to do that, what I'm going to do is incline it up. And there I saw some of the air bubbles come out, which is good because that's what we want. And while holding, and be incredibly careful doing this because you have boiling water and you don't want to burn yourself, I'm going to add more water to this side. It's okay if it overflows. Okay, so there we go, and you can see one of my sensors. The one on the left is reading high, and that's because that's where I poured the hot water in. So this riser gets really hot during pouring, and that's why you'll see a little bit of a temperature differential as we go on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and I'll remove the one riser on this side, and I'm just going to go around to do that. I'm going to hold the elbow as I'm doing this. And you get a little bit of hot water on your hand when you do that. Luckily, it's around 65 degrees C, so it's not quite boiling. And then what we'll do the same thing on this side and just carefully rotate the riser. Okay, so this essentially is now time 0 for the experiment because the mass, and I will put the mass that is in this system in the manual. I'll measure it with a precision scale so you'll know it to within probably about 0.1 grams. The scale goes to 0.01, but that really, there's uncertainty in that measurement, so it'll be about 0.1 grams. So we have that. And there we go. So the experiment is now taking place. I'm going to move this cable out of the way because it's in the way of one of the DS1s. We don't want that. Okay, so everything looks good. Now the experiment is progressing. We have natural convection coming from the pipes.